He fights for us. At last.
The king's back and the throne's mine. The future's here and it's my time. Straight shot, going for the head with it. Take his head off and say that I did it. Good riddance. Say hi to the bad guy, I'm back in business. If you took what's mine, I'm back to get it. There's nothing you can do, I'm back with vengeance. Now turn me loose. Now turn me loose.
Hey, what's going on? Does represent for the Gray Pill Podcast. If you are new, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit the all bell notification. That's for everybody else coming on through. So it helps out everybody with your favorite YouTube content creator, so you can get updated on all things coming with the content. So let's get this out the way.
For those that's listening out there in the YouTube universe, shout out to Great Pill Podcast. Go holler at him. Hell yeah. Give him a like and subscribe. Go view his channel, if you will. Courtesy of Classic Lights.
For all your Spanish watchers and viewers, Telemundo, Univision, Galavisión. Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches, damas y caballeros. Por favor, suscriben, gusten y por favor compartir este canal de YouTube. Cualquier parte del mundo donde están ahorita, por favor. Familia, amigos, o socios de trabajo, lo que sea, por todo el mundo, por favor, suscriben al canal del TheGreyPillPodcast, el Pastilla Gris, por favor. Muchas gracias.
Appreciate Angel Knight coming on through in the chat. I don't know if she's here for the conversation. Appreciate Jay the Informant. I like the name, so appreciate you for coming on through. All right. So if anybody's seen, it's pretty much happened like a few months ago. Piers Morgan had Pearly Thing on about 3 times. I like to pretty much wait until a lot of stuff transpires to get like a really good perspective of the conversation. I know a lot of content creators out there, excuse me, grab and go for a lot of things. So I thought it was pretty interesting on the third the third and had a conversation with Piers Morgan, and she did hey Inky, appreciate you being a lookout for the top. It's gonna be an interesting topic for Tuesday group conversation. Okay, so I think you're gonna like it. I'm gonna do like a little 3-part. I don't know if one of the conversations we can beat that over with a dead horse, because I know how we are with really deep dives of conversations. So I'm gonna get all that done today. So I'll have everybody, you, Wes, Classic Ruby, and then I'll try to invite somebody else if they want to come on for addition for the conversation. I don't know how cool you are with I think her name is Lauren H. I think it was when we was on your end. We had a conversation about relationship and something like that. I don't know if she ever had the time. I know she have a child, so I don't know if she had the time to be up and available, canned up and ready for that conversation at Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central. I don't know how close you are, but you know, one hurt the axe. Yes, Jay, JPT. When she rebranded 3 times, it was just Pearly Things. It was just Pearly Things. White Girl Reacts, and it was JPT. Now is Pearl. Yeah, she's rebranding the rebrand to rebrand, and really doing it right now. But yeah, here's the video I want to share with everybody else on the conversation with Pearl. It's pretty much a part 1, part 2, part 3 of everything. So get this out the way. I want to make sure, hold on. I want to make sure all my videos and streams is lined up so we can have everything in full context. Because again, Miss Pearly Thing says we don't never have anything in context. We don't never We don't never see her videos, so we can't question anything Pearly says. So I want to make sure we have all the videos lined up for everybody, so we get full context of conversation. All right, got to be fair to Hannah Pearl Davis. Got to be fair to her. All right, so let me share this. Again, I definitely appreciate everybody for coming on through. So shout out to y'all. All right, so here's Piers Morgan for the first appearance that Pearly thing was on with the conversation. Yeah, Lacey H. Yeah, she's a sweetheart. I like her. I like her brain. She got a good brain on her shoulders. If she have an email something or some contact information, definitely if you don't mind emailing it to me, and I'll definitely reach out to her today to ask if she want to come on for the conversation.
In the studio is socialist and author Grace Blakely and YouTube commentator Pearl Davis, both, I would imagine, identifying as provocateurs.
Of course.
Let's talk about this first of all. Pearl, I just find the whole personal pronoun thing honestly absurd. My personal pronouns on my Twitter biography are now hot, hotter, hottest. And frankly, if people...
I ain't gonna lie, my pronouns is, hey, what's going on, brother John B? Hey, John B, get the drinks ready, man. it might be shots in the evening. It might be some shots, so get the drinks going. Yeah, so my pronouns is I'm Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots. I have the Ultra Matrix in my chest, and let's roll out with the video. That is my pronoun. So,
well, don't call me those. Then they have to be jailed. I go along with that. But I did that to highlight that when I do that and say that, people then accuse me of being ridiculous. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. Why do we need personal pronouns?
We don't need personal pronouns. I don't think it's kind to allow people to live in delusion.
Wait,
at the end of the day, we all know what a man and a woman is, okay? Just because you dress like a woman, talk like a woman, act like a woman, it does not make you a woman. And I am so tired of us allowing these people to let us live in delusion. It is
who are these people, Pearl? Just call it like it is. Who's these people? We need to know.
delusional to think you are the opposite gender, and it is not kind.
I can't even go on. I love flying British Airways, right? My preferred airline, a wonderful airline. And they always used to, there always be a lovely posh voice saying, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Britain." And I used to felt soothing, particularly if I came from another country back to Britain. I felt immediately at ease. My captain was there, sounding like he was, from some wonderful Pathé News bulletin. And he referred to us as ladies and gentlemen. That's now been banned. They're not allowed to say ladies and gentlemen because there might be one person on the plane who says, whoa, hang on. I don't identify as a lady or a gentleman. Well, okay, fine. I don't care. But I do. So where's my right?
Yeah, but if we're going by that logic, if you're talking about when you get on the plane, first of all, I really don't give a crap. If I paid my tickets, I'm going on to the airport. You could be he, she, they, whatever. As long as you're not doing anything destructive on the plane, as long as you're not disrespecting me. If we're on, you know how the people are, you get squished up, you get the wrong type of seat, you sit next to them. Yeah, I don't even ask for your name. I don't care. I pay for my flight, whether it's class or regular, and I just want to have a nice, smooth flight, sit back. If I can get a good nap, depending on how the flight is, kick my feet up, let the airport give me them little cheap peanuts and the drinks. You know how it is, a little small with the sips. That's it. I don't care what your name is. I don't care what you're calling yourself. And just to be, let's keep it a stack 100. Heck, we all had nicknames growing up. So again, I personally think we was doing personal pronouns from the beginning. I got a cousin named Peanut. That's not his real name. I got a cousin named Cornbread. That's not his real name. But does he identify as a cornbread? I don't know. But he ate a lot of cornbread growing up. Now he's like 3-something pounds, 6'4". So guess what they call him? Cornbread. Let's go.
To be called a gentleman.
Here's
Grace.
You know how I feel about this. I'm so so bored of it all. I'm so bored of the fact that this is the one item that's constantly coming up over and over and over again. And you can completely see why, right? Conservative governments have destroyed our economy. We're in the middle of a massive climate crisis, just after the hottest week ever. I've just come over from Europe. It's extremely hot. And instead of talking about that, we spend hours and hours and hours talking about pronouns, talking about going into bathrooms, talking about, you know, all of this stuff that just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but you see, it doesn't matter. Hang on. It doesn't matter to you.
I'm so bored.
It doesn't matter to you,
Piers.
but it does matter to women in sport. It does matter to women whose young daughters.
Yeah, but that's if they're again, if we're going, it's a difference. We're going by calling somebody a name that I identify as versus going on to now we're going interacting into team sports. That's a difference. That's something to have a conversation about.
Might be using these dressing rooms. It does matter to the victims of male rapists who see their attackers identify as women to get into women's prisons. Sorry, so when you say,
and let's keep it 100. Everybody been doing the graping. Men done it, women done it. So we just can't put it all up on one lump sum, speaking the absolute. So let's keep that. Let's be fair about that conversation. So we just can't put it on that community and just say, hey, this is what it is. No, men do it, women do it, women drugging men. Heck, wife drugging their husbands, graping their husbands, got them tied up. So let's keep it a stack.
They don't matter. They really do
Let's
matter.
have those issues aired in the appropriate, spaces.
We are.
In sports, have that discussion amongst sports people. But like literally, it's about priorities, isn't it? There is a certain number of time that we have on these shows to discuss the issues that matter.
You don't think women's? Hang on, before we come to our next,
I don't think women's sport matters as much as climate change. I think that
does women's
having
equality
a planet
matter?
in which we can play sport matters more than the
does
rules
women's
of sport.
Equality matter?
I know that makes me probably absolutely.
Does women's
insane.
equality matter to you?
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, but actually,
Okay.
I mean, the whole point that I was going to make on this segment actually is that like you cannot separate feminism from class issues. Like if you're just going around saying like, I don't know, I think the female CEO of a weapons manufacturer should be paid the same as a male CEO, and that's the hill I'm going to die on. I'm not fighting that fight with you because ultimately, like what I care about are the struggles that ordinary women.
Yeah, you caught that too. You caught that too? And to be perfectly honest, like I had her stats pulled up. She wasn't that good. And I'm trying to understand like what's her version of athlete. Now, when she was a young in her teens into high school, transitioning in high school, yeah, she looked at like a female athlete. She was fit enough to play the part. When she left from there, went to college to play, quote unquote, not even pro. She didn't have the body. It was just like she was there. And she made it known that she was lazy. She literally quit, just like she quit her last semester of college, that she made that announcement too. She got lazy. She quit her last semester of college. She quit her the volleyball team because she's making that mundo dinero with YouTube. She made that known, like, hey, she wasn't very steady with her job, so she stuck with one, moved on to something else. She was, hey, what they say, the grifting. The grifting. That's what you do. You're a grifter, right? I try to be an apple seller, it didn't work. I try to be a shoe seller. Hey, there's another gig coming on. Let me do the 3 or 4 hopping. So that was her. Yeah, grifting. Yeah, MVP. She was getting all types of Olympic gold medals in that. She's still winning. Shout out to Pearl.
Okay.
Every day.
Well, let's come to the main point of the segment, which is this issue of women's rights to be paid the same as men in sport. Now, the Australian women's football team have criticised the pay gap in the upcoming World Cup prize money. Let's take a look at what they said as a team.
736 footballers have the honour of representing their country on the world's biggest stage, this tournament.
Yet many are still denied the basic right to organise and collectively bargain.
Collective bargaining has allowed us to ensure we now get the same conditions as the Socceroos, with one exception. FIFA will still only offer women 1/4 as much prize money as men for the same achievement.
Well, okay.
Yeah, but this is nothing new. This has been going on for, I don't know how we through the TS community in this one, but again, this is nothing new. Heck, doctors for the football team is getting paid less than the actual football team. Individual players, they're getting paid more than the physicians. Why are we not having that conversation? For me, that is the outrage. You got people that actually went to school, to college, 10 plus years, still paying student loans for another few more years. And you got athletes getting what, 5 to 10 minute signing bonuses, first, third, second draft. But we're sitting here screaming about, hey, the pronouns, hey, the TS community, hey, this is an outrage. Oh, they're taking over the country. Okay, cool. No, sports been taking over the country. Sports was like our main entertainment, even when our soldiers went to war back in the early 1900s. Matter of fact, World War I, World War II, when we had, hey, our national, what's our national pastime? Our national pastime was baseball. And then when the men went out there, hey, they threw women into the sports. A lot of women didn't even want to do sports, but they forced women to do sports to keep the men entertained. They wasn't wearing athletic gear. They was wearing skirts. If anybody ever watched, a perfect example, anybody watched the movie, was it League of Their Own that used to be played on Netflix repeatedly over and over again? One of the main stars was Tom Hanks and Madonna. That was a perfect example of that time. So, yeah. They didn't want to play that. They was like, hey, well, let me do what I got to do to entertain the country, to get them in the, right state of mind and go from there. Then when the husbands came back, most of them have their jobs. And most women like, you know what? I was forced to play baseball. I like it. So now I'm going to stay there.
It's interesting, Pearl, because if you look at the revenue, for example, in 2019, FIFA generated £586 million in total revenue. The men's for the 2019-22 cycle, 5.8 billion, record revenue through the Men's World Cup. So the women's game has come on in leaps and bounds. The English Lionesses, fantastic win, sellout crowds. They're making a lot more money. They're definitely way, way further now towards where the men are commercially than they were, but they're still a way off. Mm-hmm. And when you saw at Wimbledon, for example, the men's final was watched by 3 times as many people, and yet they were both free to air on the BBC. You could watch both if you wanted to. So there was 3 times as much interest in the men's game. They played 2 sets more per match than the women do, and yet the women get equal pay. I'm not quite sure why. I don't think it's a matter of equality. It's just a matter of fairness, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I won. I think all of the women should thank the men for funding our leagues, because most of our leagues would not exist without the men, number one. Number two.
Bro, the pandering on her is crazy. The pandering on this one is crazy. But I get it. Go ahead.
Same numbers, then we should get the same pay. I'm sorry, I play volleyball at the highest level, and it's like
Cap. She didn't play volleyball at the highest level. If she played volleyball at the highest level, she'd have got paid enough that she wouldn't even switch up to go to YouTube. She's getting paid at the highest level. Stop that. Stop the cap.
When we make what the men make and get the crowds that the men draw, then we should get paid the same.
Well, see, why is it actually a fight for equality, Grace? I mean, why, if women in a particular sport, for example...
I'm sorry. I feel like I can take her on at volleyball, and I'm not in shape for volleyball. I feel like I could take her on. All right. Little vent there, little vent.
Turned out to generate more revenue, right, because they were more watchable. And in America, the women's football team is better than the men, and they do generate, even at school level, far more interest from girls than boys, for example. I don't see why equality should be the aim. Why shouldn't they get paid more than the men?
Hey, appreciate you, Big D. Thank you for coming on through. Did he just say the women's football is better than the men's football? No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, look, I mean, there are all sorts of problems with the way that this market for labor, and it is basically a market for labor, works. Like, I personally don't think that the top football players in the world should be paid as much as they do. I think it's ridiculous, the amount.
That's market force.
Exactly. It's market forces.
Well, why shouldn't they get that?
Be the way that we decide, you know, who generates what. Personally, I'm very much in favor of the fact that they came out there and said collective bargaining. Ultimately, like, the average worker in this country hasn't had a pay
No.
rise in over a decade.
I'm
How
so
is that going to
tired.
change?
I am
That's
so
going to
tired
change
of
when they
women
organize
whining.
with one another.
I am so
in
tired of women whining.
Mate,
It's
the only
like
person whining at the moment is you.
the men.
Pearl, we really shouldn't be talking about nobody whining. you literally went out your way to strike your co-host channel just because he had freedom of speech of a disagreement with the terms of agreement on a contract y'all two had. And we also can't talk about whining when you go up and down your Twitter feed 24/7. All it do is sound like a drama sitcom. That's all it sounds like. So we really can't talk about women whining when you are a woman and you're whining on Twitter. Make that make sense.
Literally, the men fund our leagues and we will still whine that we don't get paid enough. And honestly, when athletes do shit like this, it makes all of us look bad because instead of being thankful for the league that we have, we go out and whine and complain about the pay.
I mean, as I said, I'm not.
I could literally pull up like 15 videos back to back to back where Pearl is whining. I could literally hit her channel right now. She's whining about Aber and Preach. She's whining about Destiny. She's whining. I could literally pull up videos.
Whining. You sound like you're maybe doing a bit of whining, but like personally, I don't think we should be whining. I think people should be organizing. If you want a pay increase, join a union, get out there and fight for it. That's my view.
Should the women footballers get the same as the men?
Yeah, I think it probably makes sense.
Even if they're not making anything like the revenue.
Ultimately, like it's not going to change. It's not going to change unless they organize. That's actually true across every sector of the economy.
How much?
If you want a pay rise, join a union and fight for one.
Let me ask you this though. They have got unions.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this. On talent alone, for example, as a yardstick, the US women's football team were beaten by a group of under 15 boys from Texas, right? Who were very good, under 15 boys, but their under 15 boys team beat them, I think, about 8-9-0 or something. So why should women footballers, who are clearly nowhere near as good as their male counterparts, just technically, why should they get paid anything like as much money?
Well, I mean, you know, it sucks, doesn't it? That like as a woman, yeah, okay, you play volleyball. I'm a surfer. I absolutely love surfing. It's very hard.
Lady, but you look like when you tell me you're a surfer, you look like you got the fit for a female surfer. Pearly don't have the fit for a volleyball surfer. She just has the height and be like, oh, well, I played volleyball. I was a pro. No, you was just doing something in a little bit in high school, a little bit in college, and you quit. She don't even look to play the part. And I don't want to body shame, but a lot of women out there was actually saying that, hey, you know, Pearl looked more of a linebacker, you know, in the football realm than a volleyball player. You know, how she got her shoulders hunched, how she slouches, you know, her thighs. A lot of women were saying that she got more the fit of a linebacker versus an actual volleyball player. But I mean, each his own.
For women to build up a body strength. This is something that I've learned very much the hard way. And so,
surfers, by the way, there is equal pay.
Yeah, there is. And actually, you know, it's one of those sports where
can a woman be as good as a man or not?
Well, it's different. It's a different sport, really.
Right.
It's not, you know, it's the same sport, but it's very different watching a woman surf than it is watching a man surf because, you know, the average male body is different from the average woman, like woman's body for all these.
But is there any actual technical reason why a woman can't do with a surfboard what a man can do?
Yeah, there's loads of reasons. Like it is about the upper body strength. It's about like the way that the body is built.
So should women surfers at the elite level get the same as men?
But like again, I think it just is different. Like it's a different kind of game, and people watch it.
You're shaking your head.
No, I just think when we start making the same amount of money as the men, then we should get paid the same as the men. I don't hear the men whining about OnlyFans models getting paid more than them. I don't hear them.
How do you know? Have you talked to an OnlyFans model? Yeah, have you talked to an OnlyFans model? We talked to a lot of the people in the streets in the UK. We talked to a lot of people on your platform. Have we actually talked to male OnlyFans? Have we talked to them? There's documentaries out there where they actually talk about and they actually have their concerns about the pay gap between the men and the women. It's the information's out there, Pearl. So we can't say they complain. There's a lot of complaints out there on both sides. Just saying.
men whining
Is that
about
true?
models getting paid more than them. Kendall
Does-
Jenner is the highest paid supermodel. Where are the male
But if you
supermodels?
average
There was a lot of male supermodels. I feel like they're dying out now, but they had a lot of complaints. Again, the information's out there.
Whenever men dominate in an industry, women will just complain.
I mean, I don't know if that's true about OnlyFans because there are a lot of men on OnlyFans as well. But I mean, look, the main point
You
here.
think they make the same?
I have no idea, but like if maybe
Well,
if
then
you
why are
averaged
you-
out the number of men and women that are on that website. Anyway, look, the main point here, the point that I came on here that I wanted to make was that the problem that we have in our economy at the moment is not that like the average football player isn't paid the same as the average man. It is probably.
Shout out to Jay the informant. Jay the informant. Well, first of all, we're not going to skip you. It said Pearl's degenerate behavior at parties matches Lizzo, according to Sarah Garvey. I got to check that one out. That's not interesting. Shout out to Jay. He says OnlyFans models make more. Look at the case of the chick who unfortunately deleted her boyfriend. Yes, I covered that a while ago. That's still up in the air with the I think with the trial. I think to look back onto that because her father is filthy rich, and the way they covered her, and she wasn't in there. I don't think she was locked up that long, and a lot of information came up where it's on his phone, even down to the video camera about their previous domestic dispute. She used to beat on him, stab him. She was abusing him in all types of levels, but he still stayed with her. Yeah, she made a lot of money. She made a lot of money. That was a crazy. I really need to look back on that because that was a crazy story. Because I don't even think I know she's charged, but I'm gonna be honest. I think she might even get away with it. I really think she might get away. I think she might do like one of them. Let me get since I'm locked up for like maybe a few months, then I get out, get the ankle bracelet or alleged ankle bracelet for a year, probation for like 2, do community service, but the community service might be in some fancy smancy hotel, and then next thing you know, she's still collecting money, she's still running around like she's free. She might go and do some like therapy in them upper class areas, and then poof, doing it all over again. I really think that's what might happen with her. Yeah, I agree. I really think she's gonna get away with it. She took my man's life just cause. That's horrific.
An injustice, and I'm glad that they're organizing and working together to fight for that. But ultimately, the problem we have in our economy is that nobody's getting paid enough money because inflation's eroded people's wages. Even before that, no one had a pay rise in a really long time. And the lesson from this is, as I've said, I'm going to say it again because it's an important lesson and no one knows about them anymore because they see them as a hangover from the 1970s. Join a union because otherwise your boss is going to walk.
But there are unions for all these. It's the unions that are fighting for them.
Exactly.
But just as a general point, though, the principle you think that women should get paid the same, even if they're not as technically as good and not producing as much.
Yeah, but what do you mean by technically is good? I feel like if we're both applying for the same job, yeah. Now, also it goes by experience. I'll use me and Jay for example. Well, I don't know the lazy. I use me and Jay for example. If Jay comes up against if Jay been working at one company or the position he applied for and he's been there 5 years and another woman comes in there, normally last time I checked, it would be the base pay. And then that woman had to put in like, hey, every 3 months they give you like a certain raise, or depending on the company, hey, we're downsizing, we're upsizing, we got a bonus, we got some extra incentives. So now we can and based on her experience, so her experience might be just as equal as Jay experienced because he put in 5 years. So she might have been working a company for 20 years doing the same thing Jay did, but Jay probably just stepped into this new industry doing this for the first time for 5 years. So you got hands-on experience for this current company for Jay for 5 years. Then you got the previous person coming in who did have 20 years experience overall, the woman. Now it becomes a question. Should that person get paid equal paid as Jay? Me personally, I would say yes, but it becomes now our personal preference. We don't know that person with a 20-year overall experience came from the outside coming in, might negotiate the terms of that pay raise. See, a lot of people don't understand that's a part of it too. That's what people need to start thinking about. We don't know that. So it all adds up. But I agree. There's a lot of pay gaps, which is funny. I just remember Pearl just said she don't even believe in the pay gap. Pearlie was on Nathan H3. She said she don't believe in it. But all right, each his own. I wonder if she's gonna interject this one because she literally says she doesn't believe in the pay gap.
Subjective judgment, isn't it, on whether or not they're like technically as good?
Well, not really.
No, it's not.
Because people watch men and women sports for different reasons.
Well, let me give an example. An example would be the Olympics. If you made it non-gender specific, how many women would win medals?
Well, I mean,
none.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's a huge. I mean, and this is me just guessing. That's like a huge hypothetical. Like I hate those what ifs, but to be fair, slowly, it seems like that's coming into play. Everybody's coming in there. I personally feel on that level because we know like boxers, MMA fighters, heck, even MMA fighters and boxers, they have their separate divisions. You got the men's and the women's. Now, if that community comes in there, they gotta have like some kind of limitations because you got to make it equal. Even with the boxing, they have the same weight class, the same high, everything, the same division, same thing. MMA, same class. You got to have that same division. So if they're going to step into there now, the question is that man is going to say, you know what, I'll accept the challenge against this woman or TS community, and if they say yes, all gloves is off, all bets off. Do what you need to do. Same thing on the community with the women. If it comes in there, just like swimming, we had a conversation about the swimming where, hey, TS community came in there, outswam all the women, got the medal. Everybody felt like, hey, that's a rip off a sheet. I personally agree, but at the same time, if that's what you feel is wrong, that community need to get out and kind of make a division separate from this one and understand like this is not going to work out. This is not going to work out.
Maybe in equestrian and maybe in shooting, I think, are the
but
two,
again, I think
where there's no sense that the men might win.
You can say like, oh, this group is better than this group. But again, I think it's different.
Men are better than women at
sports.
sports. Yes, let's not live in this delusion.
And in
most cases,
Grace, more people, men and women, want to watch men play sport.
Correct.
That's just a demonstrable fact. That may change. And my point is, if it changes, I don't see why equality should be the only ambition for the women. If it turns out that in some sport, women...
Hold up, Pro says she played 16 years of sports. Let me get the calculator out. Let me get the calculator. She's 26 right now. She says she played 16 years of sports. So she started playing sports at the age of 16. She started playing sports at the age of 10.
Really? Really?
Yeah, I don't believe her. I'm just gonna say it. I don't believe her. Hey, what's going on, Angela Knight? I'm just gonna call you AK just for short, or just Angela, whatever you prefer. Yes, I do look very cozy. I got my ambiance here, got the nice mic here. I gotta be cozy because I'm trying to mentally process Pearl's ignorance, mindset, behavior, the words that can't come out her mouth. So I got to be in a cozy mindset when you're reviewing anything of Pearl because it's a lot. It's a lot. So I don't give a sip cup, drinking some good old cozy tea. Okay, we'll go with AK. Okay, that's cool. So salute to you. Let's go.
Get more viewers watching and therefore draw more revenue. I'm all for them getting more money than the men.
Can you name 5 WNBA players? 5 female soccer.
Hey, what's going on, Poppy Blanco? What's going on, sir? What's going on? Appreciate you. Oh, Angela, if you in the Angela, if you are in the chat, this is who you need to have on as a conversation. Poppy Blanco is one of the most entertaining, realist, authentic brothers I know. This is somebody's, I mean, whether you agree or disagree with them, good dude. Shout out to Poppy. Appreciate you.
Soccer players.
I mean, I can't name any soccer players
That's
already.
crazy. I
What
wish we
is
had the support
WNBA?
from the
basketball?
feminists.
I don't
we
know.
would get equal pay if we would just get the support from the feminists.
Well, let me tell you.
Name five.
Let me tell you.
I don't even know what the WNBA is.
We need our support.
You're
You
asking
don't
the
even
wrong
know.
person.
Yeah,
I
you
think.
really are.
Yeah, she don't know.
But I do want to mention one thing, which is I had Dale Vince on the program. He's been funding Just Stop Oil.
What's going on? Hey, we were just you notice that too? We were just talking about that. Like the shoulders, like she looked like she could run me through. Like she got the shoulders, the thighs. I look like if she put in a crouch position just buck at somebody, I feel like she just go straight through 5 dudes. Easy. Just get her a pigskin, let her run with it. I feel it. Pearl can go for the yeah, maybe in your stand-in. I feel it. Hey, shout out to you, Slanta. Hey, man, I like a lot of your content, man. Keep doing good stuff over there. Keep holding it down. We get warmed up, Inky. We get warmed up. You said Google Trevor Lawrence pick a show. All right, I'm gonna do that right now. Thank you, kind sir. You said Google Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. All right, Trevor Lawrence. All right, All right, pulling up Trevor Lawrence. That's crazy. She do look like him. She favors him a lot. Look at that. That look like Pearly. That look like Pearly. Especially in this picture right here. That look like Pearly. Now throw the voice in there. That look like Pearly. Oh, that's the perfect picture right there. What was it? That's a perfect picture. I could see it. That's crazy. Yeah, it's close. Probably said Google pick from the movie White Chicks and the yeah, I remember that one. Oh man, I remember that one.
And also, he was very, very keen to show his feminist credentials because he owns a football team, and he had just hired the first female manager of a football team. But there was a slight problem, which he only made her the caretaker, and I saw a potential flaw here. So let's see what went down when I interviewed him. You didn't think by appointing the first female caretaker manager of a professional men's team you would get any attention?
She's the best candidate for the job at the club.
Okay, that was in the Pearly. So all right, so here's the second one when she comes on again, where everybody felt he deemed her as the female Andrew Tate. I do not know why everybody keep calling Pearly things the female Andrew Tate. That is very, 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 very weird. She doesn't look like Tate. She doesn't speak like Tate. She doesn't have allegedly Tate's money. I didn't see her with one Bugatti, if anything. So I don't know why everybody's deeming Pearly things as the female Andrew Tate, which is weird. She doesn't have no websites. I mean, if she's gonna get locked up, if they're calling her the new the female Andrew Tate because they may be predicting that she might go to another country, since she is in another country, and she might get locked up and arrested like Andrew Tate and go through trial like Andrew Tate based on some allegations, this charges are pending against him, then yeah, I can see that, but I can't see everything else.
Piers Morgan said, Sir Pearl Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern feminism. The New York Post called her the female Andrew Tate. So she tapped into genuine female pushback to the excesses of wokery, or is she just an attention seeker? We'll find out in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the clip that sent her viral.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so that your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So I understand the complaint.
Yeah, but Pearl, you're a virgin. I mean, excuse me. I lied. I apologize. I lied. Pearl's not a virgin. She's not a virgin.
Okay, well, Pearl joins me now alongside political journalist Ava
Round
Senti,
2.
who was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Pearl, you've be called the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Well, I take it as a compliment. You know, I'm a fan of Andrew Tate.
Of everything he says?
It depends what we're talking about, but overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
Okay, look, you're talking about women predominantly, which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to remove, just from yourself, the right to vote?
Well, what happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women
That's not true. It's not 5%. Is she talking about 5% of women in the whole world or 5% of women in the United States? Crap. I feel like I need to fact check her. Man, I really feel like I need to fact check her. I'm sorry. Every time she opens her mouth, I just feel like it's a need to fact check Pearly. Or is this? All right, I'm gonna let the video run, but I'm looking that up. So she says, let me run that back.
When I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, like, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true.
At,
You look it up.
at the time.
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean, that's what they say. But, you know, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. You know, before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, you know, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
But what's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility. Again, men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the.
All right, I just fact checked that. Hey, get your drinks out. We're taking shots every time we fact check. Brother, get your shot in, man. Go ahead, get your drink in. Sorry, the statement that 5% of the women want to vote in the United States is not accurate. Women's suffrage, the right to vote, was a significant social and political movement that aimed to secure voting rights for women. This movement eventually led to the 19th century amendment to the U.S. Constitution in 1920, which granted women the right to vote. Yes. The desire for women's suffrage was widespread and involved the efforts of countless individuals over many years. It is not accurate to suggest the 5% of women wanted the right to vote. The suffrage movement was characterized by a strong and determined push for equal voting rights for women. Exactly. When she says stuff on top of her head, she really got to give some kind of insight to stuff. Like, I feel like she's just speaking just to be speaking, which is not cool, because there are some very impressionable people out there. People just listen to be listening and be like, oh, yeah, my Pearl been saying some things and I'll listen to them and it just sound right. It sound right to me. No, No, you're talking off the top of that forehead right there. Pearl, you talk as many beads around your neck. That's a lie.
hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the US, they're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but on
So,
Again, we covered that last time. Jesus, do I need to start drinking? We covered that last time. It's true, but it's not true. They did that in early 19. It was like what was the cover, like 50 years ago? They're not doing that no more. There's no need to do selective service. Stop throwing selective service like it's gonna happen. It's not. Unless aliens come down and the whole world have to get together, it's like it's a must to put a gun in every boy and child and man and woman. Yes, then go that way. But it's not happening. It's not happening, Pearl. Stop. We just be throwing out stuff like it's gonna make sense. Stop.
specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have two votes.
That didn't make any sense. Let me run that ignorance back again.
I don't think it's good for a family to have two votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped about.
No, do you know?
Yeah. If I'm married, so my wife can't vote, but she was okay to vote before she married me. Then if I have children, of course they can't vote because they're underage, but they're still my children, so they might live under my roof by the age of 18. So they still live under my roof, so they can't vote. It's still the family. And then if they go to college, they're still living under my roof because they need to get the bills and all that stuff. They need to get their education. So they still can't vote because again, they're as part of my family. Man, that's a lot. Shout out to Jay. He said I can get a map to Pearland. I don't want it. I don't need those directions. I didn't know they had one. I feel like if I put a GPS on her, I get lost every time. That is wild. That is wild.
I mean,
I
it's
know,
like,
I
no,
know.
it's just sort of a bit galaxy brain. I feel like, the stats that you're putting down are perhaps correct in some.
It's not correct. Stop. You're giving her an open window. It's not correct. She's saying stuff. She will take a nugget of a resemblance of a truth and run with it. Even if 5% of the women vote, like you should just jump on that one. 5% of women wanting to vote, that's not even nowhere near true. Lady, you're a woman yourself. Look up women's suffrage. Well, you're in the UK, so I'm sorry. I hear the accent. I apologize.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean,
Allegedly? What do you mean allegedly?
Because you don't read, Pearl. You said it yourself, Pearl. You don't read. You told Ethan, you said back in the day when you was a kid, you do audible books. When I run and I jog, I do a lot of audible books. So yeah, that's what I do with my time. So you don't read. You sitting there doing videos quoting rappers.
At the time that you're talking about, women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. That's incorrect. The first female property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women couldn't work and couldn't.
All right, I feel like I need to fact check that one. Sorry. I feel like I got to fact check that one. Hold on. Pearl, stop. I might be an alcoholic after this one. All right, let's run back what she just said.
The first female property owner was in the 1600s.
All right. I hope she tell the truth. I don't want to drink. Everybody keep your fingers crossed. We want to make sure Pearl is telling the truth in this one. All right. What's the percentage of that one? She said the first property owner. All right. When was the first female property owner? She said the 1600s. All right. Trying to be sober. All right, get your shots ready. The concept of property ownership was existed for 1,000 years ago and is difficult to pinpoint the exact date of the first female property owner. In many ancient societies, property ownership was often tied to male a lineage or marital status, making it less common for women to own property independently. So what are we talking about, Perla? We're talking about, hey, we'll use Papi Blanco, for example. Papi Blanco said, hey, if I pass away, my wife gets the land, the house, the car, all that good stuff. 1,000 years ago. That's pretty much how it was, right? Instantly, the wife get all that. But that was doing a lineage and marital status. Now, but we can't pinpoint because, again, it was by property identity, or we talking about independently, a woman, she said in 1600 by herself, built up, got land, bust her butt, got land, got house, got what 1600 was like what? Land, house, cattle back then, because they didn't really have didn't have no car. So she got all that on her own in the 1600s as a woman. That's not true. Also says here, however, there's a historical examples of women who own property in various cultures and time periods, but that's Egyptian time. That was one. But again, that was inherited. That's pretty much it. There's no woman on their own back that going that far back. 1,000 years ago, even the early 1600s that Pearl mentioned, independently owned their own, as either through lineage, through inheritance, or by marriage. That was it. Pearl making up stuff.
The idea that women couldn't work and couldn't.
I'm so sorry, but that would be inherited property.
The first female millionaire was in the late 1800s.
And was that inherited?
Which one is it, Pearl? Is it the 1600s, the 1800s? Because that's already debunked. Pick one. Women own stuff during those times through inheritance, marriage, or through the family, not independently. Even then, on the states, we had slavery, and ain't no woman, especially it was a man's world around that time, very masculine state of mind around that time. No woman by herself is running anything by herself in the 1600s, the 1800s. Is no way. No way. Stop. And two, doesn't that kind of debunk what she said earlier about equal rights? Come on. Men was running stuff back then. Even, yeah, let me shut up.
So no, it wasn't. It was self-made. Yes, it was.
Self-made.
Yes, it
and
was.
She never inherited land.
Yes, she did not
and what
inherit
law
it.
permitted that?
What
law permitted that?
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential in history.
Let's get on to the vote. So what I don't understand is, a part of your message. I've researched you today, and hang on a minute.
Okay.
Your big push is that you care about men, and you don't think that men are getting enough of a say. But
I care about
hang
women
on,
too.
I haven't.
No, you don't. You don't care about women. No, you don't. Because in your early stages, you was disrespecting the black women. That was number one. That was your whole grift on that one. Then your second grift was you was pretty much calling women whales day in and day out, multiple streams, multiple shorts, multiple uploads, multiple lives. Then the next one, he was downing women for not being married. And then he was giving like so much context of the point of, hey, women need to be this and that third. But yet, you don't even walk the same path that you want other women to be. You're 26, been single for like 3 years. The last boyfriend you had was overweight. And even when he lost weight, according to him on his TikTok, he was like, yo, you didn't even like me when I was losing weight because the other women was attracted to him being in shape. And you wanted your man to get back fat and overweight so you can keep him. That's control. So you don't care about these women. I ain't gonna say 1,000 because I'd be exaggerating, but I'll give roughly say 100 women on TikTok literally contradicting everything you're saying. All types of women: black, green, purple, green, yellow, married, single, divorced. All I'm saying the same thing. You're full of poo. You're full of poo.
about
the
women
point
too,
yet,
okay.
because of feminism, okay? What I wonder is when you start making calls out like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. How is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives. They have mothers, they have sisters, they have teachers. And they turn around, they don't know how to act around women because you're giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't
Yeah, she's breeding incels. She's farming and breeding incels.
call it misogynistic. I say be equal. So again,
I
men
think
do
that's what
all of
most
the
feminists are
well.
saying.
Then okay, I'd love for the feminists. Please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society. They're open. They're hiring.
Father, I might have sinned. Holy, 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 holy. What in the haberdasheries and Hebe gluten is going on here? Fight it. Fight it.
Because I don't equate for I don't think men or women are equal until we do the equal work. So no, listen. Go apply to be on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber, go be an electrician.
All right, to be fair, there is women that's mechanics, women that change oils, women that hunts, women that farm, women that does tractor. Now, not be a high percent. If that's her argument, cool, great. I'll give you the numbers on that. But again, women are on oil rigs. Heck, if anybody, shout out to New York, shout out to California. If anybody knows, there's actually a position, a job where you actually have to climb up top of the bridge to change the light bulbs or check something going on. I don't know the whole thing. It was a crazy documentary on that. Women are doing those jobs too. And guess how much you get paid just to do that? Almost $24,000 a month. Okay. I'm scared of heights, but I will fight every bone in my being to get that job, to do that a few times an hour for a month. So yo, shout out to Bobby Blanco. Bobby says, but 80% of black women in America are fat as F. She is right. Yeah, we have obese women. I'm not gonna deny that. Shout out to Poppy said the Great Pill Podcast. Get off my ugly baby mama, just pearly. Hey, you can have her, sir. You can have her. Poppy Blanco says she is right again. Men and women are not equal at all. No, they're not. I think everybody across the board will agree to that. We're not equal. We're not equal. If we're talking about physical strengths, no. But if there's a female bodybuilder out there and she trying to take me on, I think there's going to be a good chance she might have one up on me. That is fair. Now, we'll throw you on the bus. If a world-renowned martial artist go up against Poppy Blanco TV on a one-on-one fisticuffs, I know you like them bare knuckle. I don't know. I think she might give you a run for money, but that would be a woman. So again, women like to take on these skills, and there's certain women you just know you can't step up to face to face. You just can't. But we understand overall, generally speaking, yes, men are physically stronger than a lot of women. We understand that. But we also keep in mind there are some women out there that if you see some women, you step it up to them, they look like they can give you hands. Those type of women look like they give you hands. We got women athletes, not Pearl. Pearl's no athlete, so we're gonna throw her out the bus. We got women athletes, women boxers, women MMA fighters, women jiu-jitsu, all that. They actually have the skills to build up to themselves. Like, hey, let me be a little bit more accurate with my punches, my kicks, and understand how the flow of the body goes. A lot of men don't have that. If you want to say a street fighter, meaning what? Don't really have a little bit of boxing game, but guess what? I know what I know in the streets, right? If I come up to somebody like that 9, 10 times, they might give me some work. They might, but if I got strength over them, a little bit more overpowered, then it might be a different story. So, but I do agree with you, Poppy. Overall, men got it hands down. The brother, he said 80% is wilding. Papa wants to get a great podcast, bro. Women are not hard work industries of bugging. No, I'm not saying they are all over hardworking and bugging, but I'm saying is if you are a mechanic, you're going to see a woman there. You might not see, we'll put a number on it. We'll say 20 mechanics in one store. You might see one. That's not all mechanic shops, but you might see one. Hands-on farming. There's women out there that does that all the time. They do YouTube videos, documentaries, walkthroughs on how to about it. I've seen women like, showing off different types of chainsaws. I've seen women doing working on cars, building on a lot of stuff. But again, you are right again. There's not a lot of women, but there are women doing it. I think me personally, I think pros trying to poke the bear and push, and not even push the narrative, but shove the narrative in everybody's face. Like, look, women are equal in the point of women don't want to work. Women don't want to do these jobs. There are women that does the jobs, either because they have to, or they got into it, or heck, it might be a single father out there. Like, look, I'm gonna raise up my daughter to know something that the boyfriend or the future husband may not know. There's women out there like that. I know a few friends that didn't know crap about changing the brake pads, whether you can do it the regular way, take the whole calibrator off, or do the old school way, just take out the pad itself and replace it and just kind of pump the brakes. You know what I'm saying? I seen women teach a lot of guys that, their sons. So it's a thing. Women are out there. I'm not saying they all doing it. I'm not gonna say, hey, 80% of women. No, I may say 20% of women, but there are women that's doing the jobs that a lot of men used to do back in the day. Is a thing.
Go be on the front lines of the military, and then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that,
that's not going to happen. This country's soft. This country is soft. We're not going to have. That's not going to happen.
I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, but I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely
That's
not.
a
You said you were a volleyball.
Wow.
You said you were a volleyball player, and so you've got more strength than I do. I don't think.
But
that
I don't have more strength. I don't have more strength than the average man.
Take your right away.
I don't have more strength than the average man. But again, it goes back to go be a plumber. You want to be equal, go be equal.
But you want divorce to be made illegal.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I don't think what we have today is really marriage. What is marriage? It's for better or for worse.
All right, shout out to Poppy Blanco. Poppy Blanco asks, all right, challenge accepted, sir. Challenge accepted. Poppy Blanco says, Great Pill Podcast, please show me the woman version of Elon Musk, please. Show me the woman version of Jeff Bezos. Show me the woman version of Warren Buffett. I got you, Poppy. All right, we got 3 right here, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat. You could do the homework, all right? In update of 2021, you have Elizabeth Holmes. That's one right there. You have, and I apologize because I will butcher people's names. Arina Huffton, that's number 2. Sheryl Sandberg, that's number 3. Sheryl Sandberg was a chief operator and COO of Facebook. Boom. Also now is a media platforms and meta platforms, and the author of best-selling book Lean In. While not a former like Elon Musk, Sandberg is also a proficient figure in the tech industry and a strong advocate for women. All right, so we're going to put that first one in there for you, Poppy Blanco. You go ahead and do the homework on that one. So that's 1. All right, put that in chat. Yeah, she's a scammer, sir. But hey, people saying Elon Musk was a scammer too. That man bought out. They saying he was a scammer too. So that's 1. He can do the homework on that one. All right. The Arena Huffington is a Greek American author, businesswoman, and founder of the Huffington Post. Now Huffington. She built the media platform in a major online news source and a global handful. All right. So we'll take that one into account. All right, that's another one for Poppy Blanco. And just to be fair to brother Jumbie, he said take out Elon Musk. All right, we'll sub out Elon. Will it be fair? We'll sub out Elizabeth Holmes for Oprah. We'll throw Oprah in there. I feel like Oprah was self-made. Can we agree disagree on that one? Because she's giving her man money. We'll put Oprah in that box. There you go. You got 3. Oprah, self-made businesswoman. got the magazines, got her own network. She actually did better than what's his name? Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby tried to build a network and they came at him. So he's out. And that was a man. And he was self-made. So Oprah came on the top. So there you go. Three right there, Poppy. I got you. On to the shenanigans of Pearl. Yeah, we're agreeing, Jay. That's why I'm subbing her out. We're subbing her out to be fair for the conversation. We'll sub out Elizabeth Holmes, and we threw in Oprah Winfrey because she's self-made.
Innocent in health till death do us part. That's what marriage is supposed to be. But feminists have ruined marriage for the people that actually believe in marriage.
How?
When there's a 50% divorce rate and the average marriage
Why is that all
8
down to the
years.
women, though?
I didn't say that it was all down to the women.
So why
But
feminists ruin it?
you asked why I want divorce to be banned.
Yeah.
Can I finish
Yeah.
that first? So I'm saying, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin? So you wouldn't be able to get married.
Ooh! Look at the look on her face. Let's play that back. She was right. She dropped a bomb on her.
Sickness and in health till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin? So you wouldn't be able to get married.
Ugh. That stung. That stung. She's like, what? Huh? Yeah. By your own laws and your ideas, you wouldn't get married either. It won't work out, Pearl. You're not a virgin. You're not pure. You're not on the godly threshold. You're not it, Pearl. You're not it.
What do you mean?
Well,
What do you mean? What you mean? No, I heard her. Did everybody else hear her? I heard her.
Till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin? So you wouldn't be able to get married.
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage, then I just think that you're upholding standards that you don't actually live by.
And that's a fair complaint. I wish I was, but we can't go.
So does that mean, by Pearl's logic, does that make Pearl a 304? Does that make Pearl a 304 by Pearl's logic? We got to be fair about the conversation now. If Pearl's calling these other women whales, if Pearl calling these other women 304s, if Pearl calling have all this disdain about other women, but she is in the same spectrum as all these women, does that make Pearl a 304? That's a fair question. You can't throw stones and hide your hands. It doesn't make any sense. She's literally putting a mirror in front of your face, Pearl. You can try to dress nice, try to look sedity, but the emperor wears no clothes.
Go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
Yeah, but I just don't think it's fair that you get to be here and you get to be paid for your views, and you're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
Facts. She's a privileged, I hate to say it, but it's true. She's a privileged Caucasian persuasion woman. Some might call her ginger. She's very privileged. Mother and father built an empire of their own. 9 siblings. Mansion house. 9-10 bedrooms in the house. Pearl even bragged about how the dad she had sit-in nannies. They wasn't Americans. They was foreigners. So yeah, she's living on and sitting on privilege. This is a perfect example of privilege. And Pearl has it. Shout out to Slime. Slime says, I gotta agree with Pearl about the marriage, but people don't plan on getting married, but just to get a divorce. I agree. That's where your intent got to come in. If you know you want to get married, set yourself up for that. That goes for men and women. If you know you want to get married, hold yourself accordingly for that. You got to date with intent. If a woman say, "Hey, I don't date, I court." Okay, cool. What did that mean? Have that conversation.
think
And they
I,
should
what, do you,
abide
what
by
is the
some-
Hang on. Okay,
what is the better-
if I may, at some stage jump in. Isn't the whole point of being a feminist, though, that women are entitled to have their own views?
Absolutely. And
So she's perfectly entitled to her views.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right, though. That doesn't make it right.
you can't.
You might not like
But
them.
I'm here to challenge
Isn't she
them.
exercising her right?
All right, now, Piers, I feel like you drinking the Kool-Aid right now. Stop it. Stop it. We get it.
Are you a feminist?
No, I am not.
Really?
No, I wouldn't. Don't go that far.
You don't want to be a feminist?
No, because I think if feminists really believed in equality, but you guys don't, I would love for you.
Hey, shout out to you, Jumby says, I gotta go to be a proper dad. Much love to the chat. Love to have. I appreciate you, man. I was gonna go a little bit earlier, but I was helping somebody out with learning how to do a thumbnail. So that was rewarding, so they can learn and do their own content. But I definitely appreciate you, man. So next time, if I say 11 o'clock, I'll make sure I keep it at 11. So that's pretty much where I normally have it, around 11 o'clock in the morning. So I appreciate you, 11 or 12 o'clock afternoon. So I appreciate you coming on through and sharing the conversation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Slime. Slime says, you can tell Pearl been rejected a lot in her life and had to settle with guys she didn't want. So I feel like she was traumatized and capitalized on turning over a new leaf with copying Kevin Samuels. Yes, we could also throw a little bit of Fresh and Fit, a little bit of Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit, just pretty much a lot of the red pill talking points, that's all I hear from her, is a lot of regurgitating stuff. So yeah, I definitely agree. Shout out to Little Kings React. Salute to Grey Pill in the chat game. Appreciate you, man, coming on through. I think it was like your second time in chat, so appreciate you. Hey, stay a little bit longer. The conversation is going to get really interesting. So this is second part 2 of Pearl being on Jeff Piers Morgan. So part 3 is going to be a doozy. So we're getting up there. And I feel you, Inky. I feel you in the clouds, Inky. I feel you. There she go. I appreciate you guys.
There is an oil rig hiring. There is an engineering.
I would actually
firm
love to see
hiring.
Ava Saxon on an
No,
oil rig.
seriously. There is a building being built next to my building. Go do it, feminists. Go do it. And me, I'm saying
the same job that I'm doing right
when
now.
you find the man you want to get married to, are you saying you will be with that man whatever happens the rest of your life?
yes, for the vows that we're supposed to.
Why is she lying? Somebody clip this. Why is she lying? Why is she lying? She was just with a dude that catfished her and he has like 2 kids and she didn't stay with him. He actually proposed to her. She didn't stay with him. They was together for like years off and on, but they was together for a long period of time. She did a whole interview on that on somebody else's channel. You know what? That one's going to be a review. I said I was going to leave her alone for the week and I'll focus on Andrew Tate. I don't know, man. I don't know. I might give it one more go for later tonight. I don't know. Yeah, but that's cap. That is cap. That is cap.
How do you know you can keep them?
I mean, I think it's a choice. And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave.
You didn't answer the question. How do you know you can keep those vows? Let's let that man ask that question again.
Choice. And that's it's to live.
You will be with that man whatever happens the rest of your life.
Yes, for the vows that we're supposed to live.
How do you
by.
know you can keep them?
I mean, I think it's a choice. And that's the thing, like women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children.
Well, then you should have stayed with the overweight brother that you was dating for those years. And then you told everybody else, like, hey, you would never see him again. And then he threw you on the bus and did a live stream on you on his TikTok. Like, hey, shout out to my ex who said she would never see my face. Let me find that. I'm in that mood now. Let me find that. Shout out to the university. Shout out to Petty University. You literally told your friends and everybody around you that you was not going to see this man again, but you went back and saw this man again after he blew up. Stop it. Please stop.
And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
Ava, I've got to say, it's a little bit listening to Andrew Tate, where some of it I really don't agree with. I don't agree with the vote stuff. When I hear things like that, I think there'll be a lot of people, especially older generation women, perhaps, who think, you know what, she's got a point.
Well, I mean, I believe in agency. So I think that if a woman is going to look after her children in divorce, that's absolutely fine. I also believe in your right to speak your mind about it. What I don't understand.
I'd like to
what
say,
I don't
even before the
understand-
1920s,
Do you know what I mean?
women could speak openly. This idea that like women couldn't talk the last 500 years, there have been women
I know,
throughout
but the American
history
state
that have
education
been-
system has
that have
failed.
been- have
Bruh, she's throwing a bus. She said American education has failed. That's also a fact too. That's also a fact too. Our public schools is just going down, 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 down. We're fighting for good teachers out there.
There have been women throughout history that have read, written, and been very influential in society.
Okay.
So this idea like women could never do it.
Do you know
don't
what
believe it.
I don't understand though is when it gets spiteful, okay? Because you put down a few arguments that I think are perfectly, like, you know, they're kind of evangelical and they're Christian, but those are your right to say it. What I don't understand is when it kind of seeps into this sort of, you call women fat, you say that they shouldn't have
Are they
abortions,
fat?
you say that
Are
they
they
have
fat?
STDs. You know,
I mean, the question is, are they fat? Yes or no?
Exactly. Here we go. Here we go.
Emotional damage.
Here we go. Shame, shame, shame. And a lot of people will say she's not the perfect size either. A lot of people will say she's not the perfect size either. So we can't be, again, throwing stones and trying to hide our hands. Pearl's not a supermodel. Pearl's not an IG model. Let's stop that.
Average American woman is 170 pounds. That's objectively overweight.
I mean, let's be honest. We now celebrate morbid obesity as some kind of body positive thing. And
Sir, I don't celebrate that. I don't celebrate that. Focus on your health first. But I understand there's some big women out there. There are some big men out there too. And a lot of them just don't care. They like what they like. They eat what they eat, and that's it. So I know who they, not me.
complete nonsense. So actually, on that point again, there's a bit of truth in
And this
that.
is the problem. This is the problem.
How have we come to celebrate morbid obesity as body positive?
Well,
It's nonsense.
We're not talking about morbid obese. I was actually watching your podcast earlier, and you spoke to someone who was, I would say, probably a size 12, and you called her fat, obese, and a divorcee.
She was fat, obese, and a divorcee.
wasn't.
I mean, like, I don't know what to say. This is the thing, women, we don't want to live in reality. We don't want to say things that are true.
Yes, like again, Ethan, Abba, all these other content creators, especially Ethan. Shout out to him. Even when people put your own words in your mouth, you got upset and you ran. So I'm trying to understand, what reality are you talking about, madam? What reality are we discussing right now? Because again, when you had Destiny on as a guest and you said something bluntly outrageous that was disingenuous and untrue, and he corrected you, you went and fact checked it on your phone and you said, oh, well, I stand corrected. Then doubled down and did a short and said, hey, and said the same lie again and again. So what reality are you in? Because clearly it ain't the third or the fifth dimension. Let us know.
Was she fat? Yes. Was she a divorcee? Yes.
Was you single for 3 years? Yes. Did you date an obese man? Yes. Did you have a toxic relationship with that man? Yes. Have you been single for 3 years? Yes. Are you with anybody right now? No. Are you attempting to be married or working on marriage? No. Isn't your rule of thumb was like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and all women under the age of many want younger women, but how old are you? 26. So according to your law, you are old. You're a crony.
Things are just objective facts.
Okay, I'm going to have to objectively.
And she insulted me first. They always do.
I'm going to have to objectively end the debate, but it was an interesting conversation. I think we should get you two back together as a matter of urgency. Thank you very much.
All right, and that mess. So, all right, here's the last one. Piers Morgan. Well, let me get some. You know what? Let me give some context of this one, right? So before we'll make a surprise and we'll take it from there. We'll make it a surprise. We will make it a surprise. But here's the last and third edition where it went viral. Shout out to Tree, just Tree 411, where this is all spawned and how it blew up and went from here. So shout out to Tree.
Here's what we're going to say. Stuart Pearl Davis is the self-styled anti-feminist influencer who's creating major buzz online with a contrarian view. She's appeared in a couple of debates on this show. It's called Uncensored After All. We welcome any honestly held opinions. But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Why can't
Hold up, Poppy. What Walmart you be going to? The Walmarts I be going to, it be some very attractive women in Walmart, especially if you leave like after like you get there like what, between 5 and 8. And it's not like I go there. It's like when I'm off work. So every time I see it, they dressed up for no reason. Those are the women I see. They dressed up in Walmart for no reason. The heels, the thick jeans. I've seen a chick on there with a skirt on, grab a whole shopping cart. I was about to say buggy. That's the South is about to get on to me. I seen a woman with a shopping cart full of groceries wearing a skirt and heels and just she looked like she just came out the club. Like it was a club life for her in the middle of the day. I don't know, man. You need to come on to the South a little bit and hit up most of these Walmarts over here because they be some very attractive. I can't speak about the people that work behind the counter, but the lot of customers be very attractive in there. I don't see a lot of overweight women. I don't see a lot of overweight women at Walmart. Yeah, it might mean the workers. You might mean the workers, not the employees, because they come in there like, okay, all right, let me get this.
Styled anti-feminist influencer who's creating major buzz online with a contrarian view. She's appeared in a couple of debates on this show. It's called Uncensored After All. We welcome any honestly held opinions. But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
Oh, look at her face. Look at her face. I got to blow that one up. Look at her face. Look at her face.
Held opinions. But this week, she's facing a major backlash for posting a song titled Why Can't We Talk About the Jews, which she dedicated to far-right commentator Nick Fuentes before later deleting it.
She got that. I'm busted. You're telling on me? You're telling on me, Piers? You rat me out, Piers? Why, Piers? Why?
Why can't we talk about without getting kicked off of YouTube? Now, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I kind of want to know why. Now there's all these conspiracy theories, and the more they talk, I think maybe they're right. But I can't even listen to the convo.
Well, Pearl joins me now, along with the New York author and founder of End Jew Hatred, Brooke Goldstein, over in the States. All right, Pearl, you've come on the show a couple of times, right? We've had some spirited debates about feminism and stuff like that, and I thought you've made some good points, and it's got lots of traction. Then I wake up the other day and I see this thing that's trending involving you doing this song, and I couldn't really believe what I was watching. I didn't know why did you find it funny?
Huh?
Did you find it funny? I mean, you know the backlash to it. I mean, you deleted it involving you doing this song, and I couldn't really believe what I was watching. I didn't know why did you find it funny?
Huh?
Did you find it funny? I mean, you know the back.
This is the moment she knew she effed up. This is the moment she knew she messed up. She thought she was going in good. Hey, I've been on Piers Morgan twice. He's my friend. He's my buddy. The man don't know me from a can of paint. And boom, here we go.
Backlash to it. I mean, you deleted it. You obviously thought you shouldn't have posted it.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you do that? Genuine question.
I mean, the point was more about cancel culture and people getting kicked off of social media if you finish the song. It was more about, like, you can't talk about this topic without being canceled by the left and the right.
No, that's not what the conversation is about. The conversation is exactly what he just said. The conversation was exactly like he said. And why it's not even my search engine? I just had Triologic the actual video of her dedicating the full song to Nick Fuentes to make a message to the other about why we can't talk to the Jews, and Nick Fuentes responded to it. The well-known white supremacist of Logic. Okay, I found it. Where tree?
I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It was kind of just like tongue in cheek. I didn't really expect it to get that crazy.
Yes, you did.
It wasn't dedicated to anyone. I don't know why they say that, but that's not true.
I mean, Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. He's a Holocaust denier. He said afterwards that you had dropped a diss track on the Jews, which he clearly took to be something which was, mocking Jewish people, talking about, I'm not saying Hitler was.
Yeah, he thought it was very funny. He even responded to Pearl, saying, "Hey, Pearl, you can't do this because they will cancel you. You got to do this on the low. You got to be sneaky about it. You got to be very clever about it." That was his response back to you. He's like, "Hey, I give these people all this information, and they just go and run, and tell the whole world. They don't know how to act. So you got busted, Pearl. You got busted."
A good guy, but I want to know why. What do you want to know why?
Well, it was more like, why can't we talk about it? It wasn't like
you talked
one
about the
way or
more
the
conspiracy
other.
theories you've heard about Hitler and the Holocaust, presumably.
I'm a fan of conspiracy theory. Like, people think I'm part of the CIA. There's a whole conspiracy thing online.
Who here thinks Pearly Things is part of CIA? Like, I know right now got on froze and her eye looked kind of cocked-eyed and her mouth is wide open. But I mean, besides the look on her face, who here actually thinks Pearl is that smart to be part of the FBI, the CIA? Who actually thought that? Who actually thinks that? That doesn't make any sense.
And, I'm not for like silencing it either way. The point of the song isn't like I really have an opinion on the matter. It's more, I don't think we should ban people off of social media.
You do slime?
So far so that I don't even I think it should be illegal to ban anybody off of social media unless they're inciting violence. That was the point of the song. I'm not really. It was more like tongue in cheek.
But just to be clear, what are the conspiracy theories surrounding Hitler, which you feel the more you hear them, the more you're interested in them?
Well, I don't know because I can't hear them.
Huh?
I don't
you
know
the ones. You know the ones that Nick Fuentes.
Well, I wasn't even talking about Nick. I was thinking of Ye, to be honest. I don't know why they put that Nick was the inspiration for that song. I was thinking of Ye.
You are aware of the big backlash to this.
All right, we're back. I think when we threw out the CIA conversation, they kind of backfired on me. Bro's like, I got you. I am the CIA. We're back. I think when we threw out the touche, Pearl, touche. I think I'm shout out to Poppy. Poppy says, Slime, you're telling me that America, which is the fattest country in the world, gonna have women being fat at 28%. Okay. We have to look into that.
Like, you can't talk about this topic without being canceled by the left and the right. I don't really have a strong opinion either way.
And I thought you made some good points.
Maybe they're right. Wanna know why? Now there's all these conspiracy theories, and the more they talk, I think maybe they're right. But I can't even listen to the convo.
Well, Pearl joins me now, along with the New York author and founder of End Jew Hatred, Brooke Goldstein, over in the States. All right, Pearl, you've come on the show a couple of times, right? We've had some spirited debates about feminism and stuff like that, and I thought you made some good points, and it's got lots of traction. Then I wake up the other day and I see this thing that's trending involving you doing this song, and I couldn't really believe what I was watching. I didn't know why did you find it funny?
Huh?
Did you find it funny? I mean, you know the backlash to it. I mean, you deleted it. You obviously thought you shouldn't have posted it. Why did you do that? Genuine question.
I mean, the point was more about cancel culture and people getting kicked off of social media. If you finish the song, it was more about.
Hey, shout out to you, Don GQ. He was never here and we never saw him. So appreciate you for coming on through.
Like, you can't talk about this topic without being canceled by the left and the right. I don't really have a strong opinion either way. It was kind of just like tongue in cheek. I didn't really expect it to get that crazy. It wasn't dedicated to anyone. I don't know why they say that, but that's not true.
I mean, Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. He's a Holocaust denier. He said afterwards that you had dropped a diss track on the Jews, which he clearly took to be something which was, mocking Jewish people, talking about, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. What do you want to know why?
Well, it was more like, why can't we talk about it? It wasn't like.
You talked about the more conspiracy theories you've heard about Hitler and the Holocaust, presumably.
I'm a fan of conspiracy theory. Like, people think I'm part of the CIA. There's a whole conspiracy thing online.
I'm not going to respond to that again because if I do, I feel like something may happen.
And, I'm not for like silencing it either way. The point of the song isn't like I really have an opinion on the matter. I don't think we should ban people off of social media. So far so that I don't even, I think it should be illegal to ban anybody off of social media unless they're inciting violence. That was the point of the song. I'm not really. It was more like tongue-in-cheek.
But just to be clear, what are the conspiracy theories surrounding Hitler, which you feel the more you hear them, the more you're interested in them?
Well, I don't know because I can't hear them.
Huh?
What?
I don't
know the ones that Nick Fuentes.
Well, I wasn't even talking about Nick. I was thinking of Ye, to be honest. I don't know why.
That is cap. That is cap. That is so cap.
They put that Nick was the inspiration for that song. I was thinking of Ye.
You are aware of the big backlash to this and the deep upset from the Jewish community.
I certainly am now. I just posted that song and I woke up and I was like, article. I was like, golly.
Right, but are you sorry?
Crazy. I think that my whole point was that cancel culture is wrong. I am not speaking one way or the other about the issues. My question is, why are we canceled for talking about certain topics?
So you would allow Holocaust deniers to have space on social media to promote Holocaust denial to millions of people? You have 2 million people who subscribe to your YouTube, right? That's a big audience of people.
I'm not at 2 million yet. I'd like to be.
Right, but you have a lot of people that follow you on various social media platforms.
Yeah.
you put a video like that up, and there are going to be some impressionable young minds going, hang on, what's Pearl saying? Adolf Hitler, not saying he's a good guy, but I want to know why. The more conspiracies theories I hear, the more I have to think about it.
But
I took that to mean that you agree with Fuentes.
Why did you cut off the end of the song? I said, but we can't even have the conversation.
What is the conversation you want to have?
Without being canceled by the left and the right. The point is any speech.
No, I think
it's not any speech.
It's not any speech. What is the conversation about Hitler and conspiracy theories and the Holocaust that you want to have?
I don't want to have any conversation. My lane is
Okay, why would you then? What's the whole point of this? She always don't know anything. You don't even really press or anything. You ask her general questions. Why'd you do the song, Pro? Oh, I didn't do the song. You had a guitar in your hand. And you start singing. Oh well, I was singing about let's have the conversation. Why didn't I talk on it? Okay, so what conversation you want to have, Pearl? I don't want to have no conversation. Okay, well, it seemed like you was having the conversation with white supremacists, openly racist, Nick Fuentes. Oh, I was talking about yay. I was talking about yay. I don't want to have no conversation. I don't know nothing. But you posted a video and then you removed it. Then before you remove the video, Nick Fuentes responds to the video like, Pearl, even I know not to do something that's foolish. Even I know better than that, Pearl. But Pearl don't know nothing. Every time you bring up just a question, you put him, I'm telling you, put a mirror in Pearl's face. Oh man, shout out to Inky. She says, don't even bring up 3 channels. I know even been removed by talking about that stuff. Yeah, but here's the thing though. You can have the conversation for understanding, right? I'm trying to remember something I either reacted to or something on my end, but you can have the conversation, learn and understanding. We can even say about the Black community, the Latino community, the Asian community. You can have the conversation, but if you're coming out your mouth and denying something like it never existed, and you're playing little play words like, for example, oh, why you don't believe the Holocaust exists? Oh, because they claim like over 4 million was deleted. Okay, and well, I think that's not the accurate number. Okay, what's the accurate number, Nick Fuentes? Oh, I think it's around about 2 million. Okay, but it still happened. Yeah, but you see, that's not factual. So because it's not factual, that means it didn't happen. That's literally what Pearl doing. You can have the conversation, but have the conversation understanding. There's no clap back and saying, hey, according to Pearl, she says slavery was abolished. That's literally what Pearl Worlds was. It wasn't that serious. Really? They was using their ancestors for bait. Literally for gator bait, the babies. But it's embellished. They were using Black people to breed as horses. But that's over embellished. Then she compared that to the movie Roots. Does that make any sense? Yeah, the guy so well in the movie, that's all you know. But you sitting there dating a Black dude for so many years. You're on multiple podcasts up and down the streets of UK because she's very proud of bringing up UK all the time. She's with a Black content creator going up and down the streets of UK asking about Black relationships, Black topics. Then she comes across Sarah Garvey, literally have a whole before even Sarah Garvey. She has a Black female on her panel talking about some, hey, what about this relationship? And then trying to throw the race conversation in there as if they don't exist with this one. Then you have Sarah Garvey, another well-known content creator on his end for UK, and talking about some, hey, and he's literally trying to feed this fool some real actual knowledge about slavery and colonialism. And all she does is, okay, okay, okay. That's literally her go-to. She got that goofy little face on, always repeating the same jargon all the time. Either she's slouching back and trying to fall out the camera frame. That's what she does all the time. But nobody actually going out their way to say, Pearl, why do you think this? If you believe this, you're saying this, why? Well, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing. But you're tweeting on TikTok multiple times. But I don't know nothing. Okay, but you deleted it. We're showing you what it is. I was talking about this, but you actually said the words, Pearl. You actually showed the words. It got so much so to the point of Ethan literally had to play back. You didn't say it, Pearl? No, I didn't say it. Play back her own words back to her face. So again, my argument is this for anybody. You can have the conversation to who you want to have the conversation with, about who you want to have the conversation with. If you personally feel like it's a touchy subject, fall back from it. No problem. But the conversation is had. Learn how to have the conversation. And even if you don't want to have the conversation and you say, hey, I want to look into Black history. I want to look into the Jewish history. I want to look into the Italian history, because I start looking into Italian history, and that is crazy how people that was using Black people slavery and literally thought the Italians was Black. They was disrespecting them coming up. Back then, we had almost the same noses, and they was jumping on Italians too. That's a whole nother history to unpack. So everybody got disrespected in some form, some shape or way, but not this one, not that one, not her race. Her race dominated everybody. So yes, we can talk about it. You got to understand how to have the conversation. And that's the problem. And I agree. Inky says, yes, I mean, to be careful. I watched 3 channels be taken down because of the conspiracy. Because it depends on how you go with it. But if you come in the understanding, you have an understanding. But I get it. Because again, like for example, YouTube, for example, got so many rules and regulations with the TOS. I totally understand it. But a conversation can be had. Just learn how to have the conversation. That's it. But if she's sitting there doing some little, let me play the little banjo and do all this stuff, she clearly dedicated to Nick Fuentes, a well-known white supremacist that actually said openly that he is a racist on her channel, on her platform. But her whole content is nothing but dating. And also out of the blue, you decided to bring on a well-known platform, a white supremacist, a guy that said he's denied the Holocaust, a guy that openly said he is racist and make a joke about it. Oh, I'm a little racist. No, you racist. And she laughs, Kiki and Google, even down to no disrespect to Nathan Daly. He saw the whole thing and said, hey, based on that video, he don't believe Pearl is racist. Yeah, she is. I'm still waiting for my debate for that conversation. Shout out to Nathan Daly. I'm still waiting for my debate for that conversation. I don't care about anything else. That video right there, let's have that conversation. I'm a little guy in the YouTube world. I don't know nothing. I'm peanuts to Nathan. But somehow, nobody want to have that debate with the conversation about that video. I don't know. But you are 100% right. Got to be careful, but understand how to have the conversation. If you want to understand on both sides of the frames, look into it. It's not that hard. She had at least 4 people when she was in a relationship with one Black male. And every category, everything she talked against, she was doing. She's talking about obese women. She dating an obese man. She talked about Black women. She dated a Black man. She talked about women being fat and wells and talked about all women across the board, every shapes and sizes, how they should be doing relationships. But guess what happened? She is single, 26 years old, didn't have a job to their peanuts. Her mommy and daddy funded everything for her. She has no real life experience whatsoever, but yet she has the right to talk on everybody else. She is goofy. She is goofy. And shout out to Don GQ. Nathan Daly is a weirdo. Each his own. But again, he's the guy that says, hey, you know what? Don't respect him. He the guy that said, hey, he'll debate anybody anytime. Cool. Based on topic, he decided to have that conversation. He reviewed Pro Things video with the white supremacist racists. Just the fact he was on there, that's a red flag. But he was open for the debate, reached out multiple channels, multiple contacts, and hey, I haven't heard from weeks. Maybe he's sick. I'm gonna give people the benefit out. Maybe he got hurt, maybe he got sick, maybe got life things going on. We all got life. 4 weeks later, boom, pop 2 months later, boom, pops up on his channel. Okay, cool. Still support his channel. Okay, let me get the professional way. You know how the YouTube street goes down. I don't want to talk about nobody, but let me go the professional way. In the community tab, he tagged with everybody on that end of the community. Everybody's tagged. Let's have that debate. This is what we agreed on. Let's talk about the time, who's going to come in. We have a mediator. Let's have that conversation. I'm still waiting. Per the video, not this one, per the interview with Nick Fuentes, he stated, Pearl, in his factual opinion, Pearl is not racist. I disagree. Let's go. So here we are. Let's go. Oh, your type of excuse, sir. Her excuse.
Feminism, that's what
Well, you're singing about Adolf Hitler.
Can I finish?
Yeah, but you are singing about Hitler.
Okay.
So you do want to have that conversation.
I want anybody that wants to speak on social media to be able to speak about what they want to talk about,
Including Holocaust
without
denial.
getting banned. Whatever they want to talk about.
Including Holocaust denial.
If they want to talk about that, as long as they're not inciting violence, I think people.
Of course they're inciting violence. They're inciting a hatred of
I think that
Jewish people.
Social media is the new town square. Right? You used to be able to go and say your opinions in the town square. Now we have corporations censoring what can and cannot be said. And I think that's wrong. I think that should be illegal.
Well, let me bring in Brooke, who's been listening to this. Brooke, I don't think Pearl quite understands why the wording of this song, which she deleted, to be clear, so obviously realized this is not played out maybe the way she hoped. The offense it's caused to the Jewish community. Why was it so offensive?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me on and for highlighting this issue, not necessarily highlighting Pearl, but highlighting the issue that what you pointed out is that we're really facing a crisis of societal conscience, where someone like Pearl, who engages in hate speech, and actually the irony is she's complaining about being canceled, and yet she's on your platform. She has millions of viewers on the internet and on social media, and she's complaining about being canceled. The crisis is that this is what is profitable now. This clickbait, this type of racial incitement is profitable on the internet. And, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Pearl. I don't know if she's just plain stupid or she's actually quite intelligent.
Oh, no, she's stupid. But we'll continue. We'll continue.
Is profitable on the internet. And, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to Pearl. I don't know if she's just plain stupid or she's actually quite intelligent and knows that what she's doing is so sensational that it's going to make her a lot of money. But I want to say one thing, Pearl will disappear. She will disappear like many others before her, because this is something that's just a moment in time. She's like a train wreck. It's like a car crash. You know, for example, you shouldn't be looking at it, but you can't take your eyes off it. But I want to.
I ain't gonna lie, she's not lying. She's not lying. She is not lying. You be sitting there watching some stuff that Pearl be doing and be like, this is not true, this is not true, this is not true. And be like, then it warps your own reality. Like, what is going on? Why would a person say something like this? Why would a person do something like this? Why would a person say and do the things they do? Why would a person go out their way? And be like, she gotta have mental issues. She got to have mental issues because she got it so good, right? She got it so good. So why would a person do that? Then you just keep listening more and more to Pearl's shenanigans and whatever have you, and just keep going down the hamster wheel. Like, wow.
Make one more point. I think it's so important, especially on this platform. Hatred is taught. Nobody is born like this. And I talk about it a lot in my book about the dangers of hate education. And it's not something that we can debate, that we can engage in a rational argument with. You can see what her opinions are. She thinks women shouldn't vote. Women shouldn't have the right to divorce. She thinks that women shouldn't be able to work.
Look at her. She's not even having a conversation. Based.
Argument with. You can see what her opinions are. She thinks women shouldn't vote. Women shouldn't have the right to divorce. She thinks that women shouldn't be able to work. She says these
I didn't say
crazy things
now
about
you're putting words in my
Hitler.
mouth.
But there's
Now you're
no
putting words in my
rational.
mouth.
Please don't interrupt. There's no rational argument with someone like this. And this is a mistake that my community makes, the Jewish community, very often, that they think they can bring facts to the table, that they can debate somebody like Pearl, and it's, you're going to get somewhere. You're not going to get anywhere. You're going to get somewhere only by shedding the light on this type of bigotry to expose someone like her.
Let me
just
do
a crazy person that she is.
All right, bro. Let me go back to Pearl. Pearl, let me just offer you some advice, right?
Okay.
Because I don't think you're stupid.
Mhm.
And in the 2 appearances you've made previously on this program, I thought it was interesting. It was controversial in some ways, but actually a lot of people would have agreed with some of the things you were saying. There's no question about that. But you seem to know where the line was. Someone like Nick Fuentes doesn't know where the line is. Someone like Kanye West, who I interviewed after he went on some weird anti-Semitic trope nonsense. Kanye's been wiped out by what he did, or what he said about the Jewish people, because there are certain things where I am absolutely in support of the concept of free speech, right?
Shout out to Inky. Inky says, yes, I like Lady too, but I think she should have pushed a little harder and just told her a little bit. I think she's going to add more conversation to it. Inky says it's because she knows she is so absorbed. It's going to make her money on the on the chat. She is called people make money off the pain and suffering others. Isn't that a thing? People make money off the pain and suffering of the others. This is what she's doing. She found that grift and she locked into it.
You can't go around telling Jewish people the Holocaust didn't happen as Fuentes.
that's
And people are like, Fuentes does say things like that.
But I'm not him. So you're bringing me up. So it's like,
no, but when you sing a song,
right,
and you talk about
who
Hitler,
determines what the line is, Pierce?
well, I'm asking
who determines? Do you get to determine it?
No,
Does she get to determine
I'm asking you
Who gets to determine what the line is?
I'm asking you to work out in your head.
I'm saying
you're not a stupid person.
The line.
When you say, I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. Right? When you talk about the more conspiracy theories about him I hear, the more I'm like, well, that's interesting. I'm just like agog that even now you don't seem to really grasp why singing that and releasing it.
No, look at her face. She's literally trying to think of something else goofy to say. She's literally trying to think of something. She won't even respond to what you're saying, Piers. She's literally going to say something else, obtuse, and run with it. Here she go. I could feel it.
To millions of people is incredibly offensive to Jewish people.
I think at the end of the day, Pierce, I don't think it's for you to determine what speech should be allowed and not allowed.
What about you determining? Why did you delete it?
Why did I delete it?
Yeah.
Because it was just a headache, Pierce.
Because you knew it was wrong?
I just think it's like.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand too. Why did you delete it? You knew. You took the time out to make the video. You took the time out to write the lyrics to the song. So why did you delete the video? That is a good question. It can't be because it's a headache. You knew. You knew.
It's not the hill I'm trying to die on.
Right, but why did you choose that hill to die on?
I didn't choose this hill to die on.
You did. You made the video. You wrote the lyrics. You played the song. And you sitting there lying the whole way through. So you knew.
You released the video.
I also released 10 different videos about.
But they're not all.
This video is not about the Holocaust. This video is not about the Jewish community. Those videos not. This video is. So we can sit there and throw it all day.
Basically, but they're not talking about Adolf Hitler, are they?
Are we not allowed to talk about him?
You can talk about Hitler right to the point you say the more conspiracy theories I hear about him.
Look, I think that anyone should be allowed to speak about any conspiracy theory on social media. That is my point. It's not about Hitler. It's not
if
about
you really
the
believe what you
Holocaust.
did wasn't wrong, you wouldn't have deleted it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's true.
I agree with Pearl.
Go on, bro.
If I may just say one thing, as an attorney, I have to say that I do agree with her, that I am a free speech purist. I think that even bigotry should be able to be spoken in the public sphere. But the problem of cancel culture is not against anti-Jewish speech. I think that's very clear. We see the scourge of anti-Semitism and Jew hatred rising on the internet. The problem is that there's no consequences for it. And the way that private companies
How are there no consequences for it?
Canceling is they're going after pro-Jewish speech. They're going after pro-Israel speech. I can't tell you how many times I'm contacted by people, and often my own clients, who are shut down on social media for saying anything positive about Jewish people, about Judaism, or about Israel. Yet these social media companies are unequally applying their own standards. And, while they're, for example, shutting down COVID deniers, they are allowing Holocaust denial speech. They are allowing people like Pearl to spew her hatred. So if we are really free speech purists, and that's what we are saying that companies should do, they should allow all speech.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I would just say this to you, Pearl.
Unless it's incitement to immediate violence.
Right. I would say this to you, Pearl.
So we agree.
No, Pearl, I would say this to you in conclusion.
We're all on the same team now.
In conclusion, look, you deleted this, so you clearly felt bad about what you'd put up, or you wouldn't have deleted it. You accept.
Hey, shout out to Revelistic. That's fine. We appreciate the typo. All right, Slime, appreciate you. Appreciate it very much. What's going on, Red Lipstick? How's life treating you? Very. Everybody was doing a drinking game earlier on the last stream, so that part. Every time I literally had to fact check her every time. So yeah, we're wrapping it up very soon.
No.
You don't accept it.
I just, it's kind of a headache. I was like, well, it just seems like a lot of headache to me.
Right. Or did you realize actually in that moment, from the visceral reaction from the Jewish community, you crossed a line that you yourself should have worked out was there?
Look, at the end of the day, Piers, the song was about freedom of speech. It wasn't one way or the other. The song was about why can't we have these conversations on social media, and why do I keep getting
about why Hitler may be a good guy,
and why do I keep seeing people get banned on social media? My point is, I don't think there should be a line unless you're inciting violence.
Here's a line.
Piers, would we agree on that?
Listen,
yes or no? Yes or no? Would we agree?
Here's my point.
No. Yes.
You haven't
no.
answered my question.
Okay.
I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy, but I want to know why. I want to know why what?
We can't have the conversation without being canceled by the left and the right. I just don't understand why you guys edit. You guys cut out the end of the song.
Paul,
you did 75. Okay.
The conversation about whether Hitler was a good guy. You want to have that conversation?
I think that
he murdered 12 million people.
My whole
including
point,
6 million Jewish people on the Holocaust.
My whole point is we should be able to have that conversation.
But whether he's a good guy?
Yes, because it causes more commotion when you're starting to censor people.
I don't agree.
I think that's wrong. I think it's wrong to censor anybody.
Well, you know what? You can have that conversation. You had that conversation. You posted it. You haven't been cancelled. I've had you on the show because I thought you might, with time, to think about this, regret what you did because clearly you're not stupid. You do understand the offense it caused. And wanting to have the right to debate whether Hitler's a good guy is just cretinous.
No, I want anybody to be able to speak on any platform. That was the point of the song.
All right, let's leave it
Can
there.
I point out a nuance here?
I've got Brooke, I'm sorry. I'm afraid we've run out of time, but thank you for coming on the program. I greatly appreciate it. And Pearl, thank you for coming on.
Bananas. Straight bananas. Shout out to Don GQ. Oh, you missed it, Berserker. We had like a little. There's some more of the drinking game happening. Did this come out? Okay, I want to make sure this is out. This is the last one because she actually reacted to it, which again is very, very similar to what I expect of Pearl to do. So I want to make sure I have it again. Shout out to Pearl. She's always talking about full context. Nobody has full context, everything. So we want to make sure we give Pearl the grace of the context. So where is it? She actually reacts to it.
So today, I went on Piers Morgan, and this is the third time that I went on his show. And the first 2 times that I went on his show, I actually had such a fun time. It was so fun. And yeah, it was great. But this past time, okay, I was supposed to go on Tuesday. And I just had a weird feeling about going on. And I kind of expressed my concern with the producers. I just had a weird feeling. I just felt like something was different. And the producers assured me, this is not a setup. We are on your side. This is a general conversation about cancel culture. And on Tuesday, I ended up pulling out last minute. But Thursday, I rescheduled for it. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be a bitch. You know, I'm gonna put on my big girl pants. I'm gonna go on. And you know, I think they called me like at least 2 or 3 times, either me or my assistant, saying this is a general conversation. Piers is pro free speech, and it's a general conversation about cancel culture. We're trying to build a relationship with you. This is not an ambush. So I get on the show, or I get to Piers Morgan, and about 10 minutes before the show, they switched the guest. So I was originally supposed to go on with a guy that wrote a book about freedom of speech. And then they switched it to someone that was anti-Semitism. Now, this rang a few alarm bells in my head because, you know, I recently had this video on Twitter go viral that was really about Ye getting kicked off of all social media. And
it wasn't about Ye because she never mentioned Ye. She mentioned about the Jews. Why can't we have a conversation about the Jews? Like, come on now. That's literally what the conversation was about. That's literally what the conversation was about. Stop it. And if I had time, like I literally was trying to look for the actual video to connect the dots, because shout out to Tree. Tree was actually one connected the dots for people, posted on Twitter. It went viral. Pearl tried to delete it, but everybody had it. And then Piers Morgan and on that end, media mainstream has it. So shout out to Tree of Logic 401. She the one actually set this sucker in motion. And look at it now, triggered.
I know he wasn't the only one that's been kicked off, but, you know, I was freestyling on my guitar. I was just, you know, and the thing was I had like 10 different songs that I put out, but this one, it was like a freestyle where I talked about cancel culture. And when Ye said something like about the Holocaust.
You can't remember. Look at you. Got your eyes up in the corner. I don't know. I don't know. You can't remember what you're talking about. But you freestyled it. It was about Kanye. You should know off the top of your dome. You should literally know off the top of that wrinkly forehead. You should know. You should know.
Cost. Basically, everyone freaked out and kicked him out off of everything. He loses all of his brand deals. And
how long ago was that? How long ago was that? Wasn't you doing content then? Why don't you do the content of Kanye West getting kicked up and all these little brand deals then? Why don't you have that conversation? You was still grifting, talking about black women. You were still grifting, talking about overbeast fat women, calling them whales. You still grifting, telling other people how they should live their life and how they shouldn't get married. Hey, you made a content about was it wife school or something like that? Lame. And you've been single for 3 years. No relationship. You're lonely.
And, you know, I just thought that was crazy. Like, why are we in a society where we can say what speech is allowed and what speech isn't allowed? So I get on, okay, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of, I'm a bit nervous because they just switched the guest, so I know nothing about the girl I'm going on with. And other than like what, you know, you Google in 10 seconds.
But you're a professional. You've been doing this, right? You're giving out contracts to people. You gave contracts to 70-30 split to Sarah Garvey, to Richie, to Auntie J, to Blessings, and now you got a new girl there. She just happened to be a Caucasian persuasion. Hint, hint, wink, wink. You got all these contract deals for everybody. So you're a professional. You good. Going there with you just said you coming there with your big girl pants on, right? So you don't need no complaint. You got no excuses.
You get on, and Piers says, I'm going to go hard on you this time. Something like that. And I'm like, oh, really? And I'm shocked because his producers have said all week he's on my side. So I'm like, what?
We can be on sides, but again, if it's a conversation, I'm going to go pause. They got to go hard on you on that one. That's just how it is. Again, shout out to Nathan Daly for the debate. I'm still waiting on that. It's been like, 2 months now. According to Nathan Daly said, hey, man, look, I agreed. I believe Pearly, based on the interview that she had with Nick Fuentes, there's nothing racist about it. And I believe that Pearly is not racist in that video. I disagree. We had some conversations like, hey, okay, let's have the debate. Sure. Haven't heard from him. I feel like it's an ex-girlfriend. You can't find her nowhere. The IRS looking for you. Can't find her nowhere. The mailman trying to give you bills is unpaid. Can't find her nowhere. So now, okay, maybe he hurt himself. Maybe got sick, life stuff. Let me put my foot in the shoes, best foot forward. Life happens, right? I understand that. Now, 2 months later, he pops up, does a live stream, still support the brother on his end. I'm like, hey, when that debate coming? Still waiting on it. When we gonna? Now I got to go the YouTube professional route, right? I'm probably the only professional on that one. I don't do the attack and the homonyms, which I think low key I'm doing a homonym right now, but I don't do the tax and the tax. Let me do a very professional in the community conversation. Hey, we agreed on the debates on the topic. Let's frame this perfectly. Let's do we need the time frame, the questions? Do we need a person to step in to be a moderator for the conversation? Let's take some time and have those T's and I's dotted. Then we can set a date and time and we can go from there. Still waiting. Everybody in that side of community tag. Shout out to Red Lipstick Vibes. Shout out to Don Q. Shout out to Lead Attorney. Shout out to O'Shea. Shout out to the Jason Black with the business. All those people in those communities just waiting. So here we are now.
And so I'm like, okay, this is going to be a different type of interview. They start the interview, okay? They falsely accuse me of writing a song inspired by Nick Fuentes. For someone that has millions of dollars that's backed by a network, why do you not have a research team? So either you know that I didn't attribute it to Nick, or you were just trying to spin a narrative. So Nick is someone that's banned on everything. So what does that do?
He's not banned on everything because y'all platform him. You platform them. Fresh and Fit platformed them. No Jumper platformed them. He still has a YouTube channel. He's on Rumble. He has a YouTube channel that he's hiding, so he's not banned from everywhere. Nick Fuentes is not banned from everywhere. He's still on multiple platforms. People platforming him. Like, he's not banned from everywhere. So I don't know where we're going with this. You, Sneeko, Fresh and Fit, Zerker, all y'all was together in your little Rumble Humble side. Y'all was having conversations with them. Y'all was laughing and joking around. All of y'all was making a lot of racial slurs. And what did you do? You run out the camera frame as if you don't want to be associated with them. That's what you was doing. It's out there for the world to see.
For me as a YouTuber, when you're trying to tie me to him, then they also cut out the end of the song.
Oh no, Berserker. There's a guy by the name of Zerker. Zherker from Canada that say a lot of bluntly crazy bull stuff. So it's not Berserker. He goes by the name of Zerker.
Where I say that the song is about cancel culture and it's about being canceled by the left and the right. And so it's a bit misleading because they didn't even put the full song in there. Then they also gave a title to the song that I didn't give, and they labeled me anti-Semitic. So it was funny because it's like, I'm thinking this is a free speech general conversation. I could show you these emails with someone else on it. And
all right. This is the second time I heard a woman mention about emails. Everybody needs emails. So please show the emails. Please show the emails.
then I get on and I'm like, oh no, this is an ambush, which they promised me they wouldn't do. I was like, Piers, what about our promise? So clearly this man learned nothing about the interview with Tate because even the comments are on my side. Like, okay. And on the show.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there. I'm shooting at a hemp. I'm sensing a lot of narcissistic traits here by what she's saying. Hey, the comments is on my side. You don't know these people from a can of paint. The comments is on my side. So they're rooting for me. They're cheering for me. So they're backing me up. So I gotta go with it. If they saying I'm right, I know I'm right. So therefore I'm good. That sound like a good narcissistic trait right there.
He alluded to censoring people. That I said that I think that censoring people makes it worse. He says, I disagree. So now you're pro censorship. I think we need to start calling the show Censored with Piers Morgan. Censored. Because he's using the same tactics that the cancel culture, the woke mob uses, labeling me anti-Semitic, saying I said things I didn't say, and then
Okay, so you didn't say anything on Ethan's channel. You didn't say all this other stuff, but then when he played the words back to you, you got upset and then you exit out the stream. Oh, and also to add another word to it, don't forget grifter, because that's what you did. That's what you've been doing. You started out as the just white girl reacts to rap videos. A boyfriend helped you out with that one. Then you was doing reaction videos to Kevin Samuels and Fresh and Fit. Then you hops on Kevin Samuels' platform as a girl who's trying to get relationship advice from Kevin Samuels, but you spent that at a lie and said, "Hey, Kevin Samuels gave me some good advice how to do my channel and blah 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 blah." I'm still waiting for that to come out as if you did it. So we don't even know that much. So yeah. Now here you are, you found your lane and you're grifting away, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But these labels that you're listing, plus the one I gave you, they're all accurate. I think Piers Morgan was right.
also, I was also arguably threatened online. I'm not going to say, but when she's saying people like Pearl disappear, I'm like, nothing, no push. That's okay. Like,
Because it's a conversation between you and her. She had a time to speak, like you had a time to speak. That's how conversations work, Hannah Pearl Davis. That's how conversations work. Once somebody talks, the other person listens, and if you feel like there's an objection, then you step in. That's how our conversation works. Ta-da!
So, the point of free speech is to allow uncomfortable speech. Like, the point of free speech is that we can talk about anything, not just the topics that mainstream media deems appropriate.
Yes, you can have free speech. Nobody's going to argue about free speech. But if you're exciting violence, exciting hate, if you're spewing some nonsense that doesn't make any sense, like you've been doing for the past 2 years, guess what's going to happen? Which you said it yourself and stated, controversial conversation. You say the most outlandish things ever with the relationship topics you do, with anybody else, but anybody gets you one-on-one, you cannot hold your own weight. You are a punk. When somebody gets you one-on-one, you cannot hold your own weight. That's a problem.
And, the left and the right both believe in freedom of speech, which is why I was really shocked. At the end of the interview, he even told me to apologize to the woke mob because they inferred something that I didn't say. I'm not anti-Semitic. I've never said anything anti-Semitic.
Until now.
And this is really just cancel culture tactics that the woke mob uses, that now not one but 2 shows I've been on that are pro free speech have now tried to use on me. So, I think we should start calling this censored with Piers Morgan. And I'd also like to announce that I'm starting a network of my own. I'm calling it the Audacity Network.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm not promote her for her to promote herself. I'm done. She'll be okay. I would say pray on her, but yeah, she all over the place. I would say pray on her, but I don't care. I just don't care. Her, Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, they can all get it. I don't care. But again, this goes back to what I've been saying before. When it comes to social media and you're an influencer, you're a content creator, you got, especially your topics, and it's good to be confrontational on a lot of stuff. Like if you have some beliefs, and that's fine, but understand who's following you, because that's a dangerous thing, especially if you're just spewing out rhetoric like Pearl is doing. It becomes a dangerous ingredient. So be very, very careful what you say, because somebody's listening. Because this actually was in the news that a guy either self-deleted himself or was on a killing spree that actually went across. And when he got caught, he was mentioned Pearl in the forefront of it. Hey, Pearl motivated me to do this. But again, Pearl don't know nothing. People, especially impressionable kids, do the most outlandish things based on what they see on TV and media, especially today, even worse today. And one of them that did that put Pearl name in the front line along with Andrew Tate. But Pearl don't know anything. Pearl don't know nothing. She has no blame, no shame or nothing. So y'all have a good one. Catch our guys later. Thank y'all for coming out and appreciate you.
I know you're out there. I can feel you now. I know that you're afraid. You're afraid of us. You're afraid of change. I don't know the future. I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. I'm going to hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.